All right, most important thing you can see, I have a clock right here. I will not go long, okay? I know you are not here for me. I know we're here for this awesome annual food show. When Kim asked me to come and do this, I spent a lot of time learning about your business. I'm super impressed with what you guys do. Congratulations on an amazing company, and congratulations on being part of driving something that you should all be really proud of, okay? Now, this should be fun. If you're like many people who listen to me for the first time, you say, what are we going to do for an hour? Okay, I got 50 minutes with you guys. Just so you know, just all you need to know about me, I'm a really easy story. I suck at most things, okay? I'm not that good at most things. What I am pretty good at is sales. And today we're going to talk about how you can be good at sales without feeling like a salesperson. Is that a fair topic? You know, most people that I talk to say, I never wanted to get into sales. You know, I'm a professional salesperson, and I did not go to college to be a salesperson. But yeah, I got my two sons here listening to me for the first time ever tonight, and neither one of them grew up wanting to be a salesperson. And I was sure I was going to be a baseball player in the NBA, right? And if not that, maybe an astronaut. And now I'm a salesperson. Most people don't realize that sales is the greatest thing in the world when it's done right, when you're helping people. Is that fair to say? So we're going to talk today about how to do it right. So this is what I do. I'm good at sales. I've worked with companies around the world. These are some of them. You might know some of these companies. The only reason I'm going to show you this is so you can know this is something I know a little bit about. I've won 16 American Business Awards. It's called the Stevie Award. I've won more of them than anybody else in the United States. Okay? And it's all for sales, sales leadership, sales team. The things we're going to talk about today, I'm actually now the chairman of the Judges Committee because they won't let me get nominated anymore for these awards. And so I'm going to share with you the things that I know for sure work, okay? I'm going to share with you things that you can leave today and do without feeling like I'm trying to sell someone something. Is that a good rule for today? Okay, so I want to start with, just so you know, we're going to have a lot of videos. I know for sure my job is to get you guys fired up to go down there and have a killer day with your company. And so I'm going to use some videos to help make it fun, and then we're going to share some tactics. And then I'm going to wish you well, and I'll be hanging out for a little bit. If you want to talk, I'd love to. But I believe that most times when sales goes wrong, it's what I call failure to ignite. And it's something like this. I want you to watch this, and this actually has everything to do with what you're doing at Allison's Pantry, okay?
Hi there. This is all Cedar. I just was experimenting with fireworks for Halloween. And I think I've perfected the mixture with sulfur, and I'm using some potassium magnesium. So I'm going to light this, and it should just sparkle a little bit.
Famous last words, right?
Actually, I think I'll turn the light up so it shows up better.
I got people already laughing. This is great.
Try this out.
Now listen to what he says. This is important.
Holy smokes. A little too much magnesium, I guess.
You think?
Try that again. Sorry about that.
Okay, so we sometimes have our best laid plans, true or false? None of you guys joined up and are here today because you want to have something global. You're here because you want to build a great company, you want to do cool things in the places that you live, or you want to make a difference for the people you interact with, true or false? Okay? But sometimes we have things blow up, yes or no? Yes. And we say, sorry about that. I guess I won't try that again. Okay? Today I'm going to talk about that doesn't need to happen. But there are 3 reasons why it does. If we get the 3 reasons why it does out on the table, then we can talk about how not to have it happen. Is that fair? Here's reason number 1. Sometimes we have great ideas, but we execute it poorly. I want you to think for a second, what might be a good idea that we execute poorly? I'm going to show you a video of one of my favorite ways. You guys ready? Is there any Seinfeld fans in the room today? Still one of my favorite TV shows, okay? I want you to watch this scene from Seinfeld of a good idea executed poorly, okay?
Well, I I'm sorry, excuse me 1 second. Hello?
Hi. Would you be interested in switching over to TMI long distance service?
Oh, gee, I can't talk right now. Why don't you give me your home number and I'll call you later?
Well, I'm sorry. We're not allowed to do that.
Oh, I guess you don't want people calling you at home.
No.
Well, now you know how I feel.
So what's the good idea? Is it a good idea to make calls on people that might want your product? Sure, but probably just not during dinner time, right? They probably should coordinate that a little differently. So it's a good idea to talk to people. We just got to make sure we do it in ways where they expect, it's comfortable, makes sense. You guys with me? Number 2, sometimes we have bad ideas, don't we? And we execute it and it gets worse. Here's my favorite clip of this, of 2 people out selling brake pads. I want you to watch for the bad ideas and enjoy it. And then I want you to think, how do I make sure that we stay away from those?
Let's do this. It's gonna be fun. Are you ready? Yeah, sorry. I'm ready. Hey, does this suit make me look fat? No. Your face does. Okay, let's check you out. Right. It's a clip on.
Are you sure? All right, now, it's sale time, so remember, we don't take no
from anyone.
no.
We don't take no prisoners.
We don't take no for an answer.
Oh yeah, we don't take no for an answer. We don't take no for an answer. We don't take no for an answer.
No.
Okie dokie.
No.
Gotcha, thanks. Terrific, thanks for your time.
Let me say, maybe.
Well then, I'd just like to add that the spectrometer readout of the nickel-cadmium alloy mix indicates a good rate of strobe and fade, decreasing incidence of wear to the pressure plate. If you could just...
Whoa, little fella, you're not speaking my language.
What my associate is trying to say is that our new brake pads are really cool. You're not even gonna believe it. Like, let's say you're driving along the road with your family, and you're driving along, la la la, woo. And then all of a sudden there's a truck tire in the middle of the road, and you hit the brakes. Whoa, that was close. Now let's see what happens when you're driving with the other guy's brake pads. You're driving along, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling in the back seat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, tire. I can't stop. There's a cliff. And your family's screaming, oh my God, we're burning alive. No, I can't feel my legs. Here comes the meat wagon. And the medic gets out and says, oh my God. New guy's in the corner puking his guts out. All because you want to save a couple extra pennies. To me, it doesn't.
Get out. Now.
And the very first question they ask in this meeting comes now.
Do you validate?
Okay.
Now.
So there's so many bad ideas in there. But I'll tell you the one that starts, the most important one was this concept of we don't take no for an answer. Because it means we only care about what? What we want. Right? Today we're going to talk about how to never be that person. Okay? Is that fair? How to never ever be that person. But the last one, the reason people don't like what I think is the greatest profession in the world, sales, when you're helping people, is because there's a lot of unknowns. You know, it's not like when you're working in a factory, if you have 100 inputs, you get 100 outputs. Is that fair to say? You're going all the time. There's a lot of ambiguity, and it kind of looks like this. This happens. We're working hard. We're talking to people. Sometimes I might even feel uncomfortable. But hard as we work, sometimes this happens. We hit totally unnecessary obstacles and we get eaten for lunch. And as bad as that is, this is why people really hate sales. They feel like I've done all the work, I've found the customers, I've had the right conversations, and at the very end, this happens. And you're just left there like this going, huh? And no matter why you lose, this is how you feel, okay? And you should laugh at this, and you should be like, it should feel like this. You should want to do whatever it takes to not feel like that, okay? Can we agree we should never feel like that? Is that a good rule for the day? Okay. I used to tell my son this is a picture of him for about 8 years. He thought it was. He's in the back right now. Okay. And what we're going to talk about today is how to not have any of those things happen. Because I believe there's two kinds of salespeople. Two kinds of reps or distributors at Allison's Pantry. There are those that have success with the people that they want to have success with. And then there are those that have success with just whatever they can get. Take what you want or take what you can get. That's the theme of today. How do you get what you want rather than just being selling for what you can get? Is that a good way to look at it? And if you don't know which one you are right now, it's very likely you take what you can get. Because by definition, take what you want means you know who those people are, how you're going to get there. We're going to talk about that today. And I'm going to give you 3 laws. 3 laws in the next 45 minutes, okay? 40 minutes, less than that. And we'll be done on time. But that means I'm going to go relatively quickly because that makes it fun. You need to take the notes, and how you apply these laws will be up to you. Every person in this room will apply these laws slightly different. That's why they work, okay? You will never hear me say, do this, say this. Because what makes me successful very likely is what will be different than what makes you successful. And that's why sales is so great. It's about making connections with people. Is that fair to say? Okay, so you ready? 3 laws? All right, number 1, you gotta manage what matters. This is the foundation for everything that I believe makes someone successful in helping people. So if you sat in the front, you have a piece of paper that looks like this. Maybe if you guys could help me, if you didn't get one of these, if you could get your hand up, I'd like to get a couple of these out. If you could help pass them out, you guys that are here. I don't need a whole bunch of these in the front row. If we were smart, we would have sat from the back to the front, because everybody sits in the back. Let me tell you what you got here. We're going to play a game. This is a competitive situation. I've done this hundreds of times. This is a really fun exercise. On this piece of paper, there are 54 numbers, 1 through 54. They are not in order. They are different sizes. They are different fonts, okay? Here's what I want you to do. Flip it over so you're looking at the back. I want you to take out your pencil, and I want you to, or pen, write down a goal. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. How many can you find in order in 60 seconds? 1, then 2, then 3, 4, then 5, then 6, 7 and 8, then 9, all the way to 54. I'm going to pull up my stopwatch, my timer. Everybody write down a goal right now. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. We're going to see how many you can find. You guys ready? Are you marked? Get set. Go. Where's number 2? I can't find number 2. That's 30 seconds. You have 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Papers and pencils down. Who got them all? All right. Who got out of the 54, 45? 40. 35. Everybody's feeling a lot better about themselves right now, right? By the way, no one ever gets that many. I already know probably what the best one will get. 30. 25. Who got, did I say a hand?
You got 35.
You got 35? That's the record.
Really?
I've done this literally over 200 times. No one's, that's the record. The record has been 28.
Alphabet letters.
Okay, so you kind of know what's going on. All right. So you actually are exempt. I don't care about your story there. I like you. We can be friends.
I thought my goal was 40.
But I really, oh, okay. So now you go where, so who hit goal? No one hit goal? You haven't, do you hit goal? What was your goal?
No, I didn't get it. Never mind.
Nobody hit goal? What was your goal?
Mine was 5.
Okay, so the moral of the story, I love this guy. Set low goals and you'll go far. All right? Set low goals and you'll go far. So if only people that hit goals set goals of 5 and everybody else missed, is it fair to say harder than you thought?
Yes.
What if I told you there's a process? What if I told you there's a tic-tac-toe board on here? And you start in the top corner, it's 1, 2, 3. Come to the middle, 4, 5, 6, go to the bottom, 7, 8, 9, back to the top, 10, 11, 12, and you keep doing that until you get down here to the bottom on 54. Would that have mattered?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to see how much it matters. We're gonna do it again. I'm gonna put 60 seconds on the board. Listen, do not cheat. Do not start at 5 where you left off last time, okay? Start at 1, and we're gonna do this again in 60 seconds, and I want you to see the difference. Is that fair? Yes. Okay, on your mark, get set, go. Now we're cooking out here. I see people flying through this thing. Now you're at 30 seconds. Ten seconds. And stop. How do we do this time?
Perfect.
Who got all of them this time? Look around. Look around, guys. How awesome is that? Did anyone do worse? Don't admit it, okay? My man right over here. He didn't do worse than 5, right? Okay. So let's say, now here's the most important question on this whole exercise. How many people hit goal now? Look around. What's the only thing that changed? Did the challenge change?
No.
So what did we learn from this exercise? Okay, I could have come up here and said, law 1 is the law of process. You have to have a process. And you would have been gone. You would have left. But you just experienced a really important fundamental truth of anything in sales. With process, performance always improves. And sometimes it's the only thing that's missing in order for you to hit your personal goals. So I hope you have personal goals for what you expect to do here with this amazing company, Allison's Pantry. I hope you have expectations of yourself. My question is, do you have a process? I'm not going to get into like hardcore sales process. I'm going to give you 4 things you can look at that will help you do better. Is that fair? Okay, so it's really simple. You engage in activities that either do or do not give you more people to talk to, and then that either does or does not turn into more subscriptions to your service. Is that fair? Everybody knows what they do here. Most people can tell me who they're talking to, but very few people tell me what they're going to do differently in order to change it. This is where it comes down, guys. This is where it is. So I'm going to give you an equation. I'm going to give you a roadmap that will help you do that. And it's why you should measure what you do. You should pay attention to your activities. Don't just wing it. You know, sometimes when we're saying we're doing our own thing, we just kind of do our thing. Run it like a real business. Watch who you talk to. Watch what happens with them. Because here's why. It takes horsepower to get the business that you want. So if this draft horse can pull 8,000 pounds, what can 2 of these draft horses pull? 16? Yeah, people are like, hold on, not so fast. And the ESPN fans, of course, not so fast, my friend. Okay? All right, that's what we're saying here. What's that?
When you think about 2x4s, one next together, like one 2x4 can hold like 1,000 pounds, but 2 2x4s can hold.
See, I told you we'd be friends even if you cheated last time.
As a business major.
I love it. Here's the answer. 2 of them can do 32,000. There are 4 levers that will give you that kind of success in what you do for Allison's Pantry. I want to give you the 4 levers. 2 of them are about finding people to do business with. 2 of them are about making those into really meaningful relationships. The first is a sheer number of people you talk to. That's an easy one, right? you got to have people, you can't do business with them unless you talk to them first. Is that fair? That's not a stretch, is it? Second, what do? Revenue per customer. How many products of yours do you buy? That's why what we're doing down here is so important. You're going to be introduced to some new stuff that you're going to be excited to share with people, right? Third, how often do you convert that to opportunities? And fourth, how long does it take to do? Are they tire kickers or are they doers, right? Can you get people to stop kicking tires faster? And it fits into a really awesome formula. It's called the sales equation. I did not invent it. If you go Google sales equation, you're going to find what I'm about to show you, okay? It's this simple. Growth in the number of opportunities multiplied by growth in the revenue per customer, multiplied by growth in your win rate, divided by how long it takes to get it done, equals customer revenue. Let me tell you how you can do this. Let me simplify this, okay? Again, I don't want to make this hardcore, but I think this is something you can go home with and think about as you drive back or fly back to where you came from. Let's talk about opportunities. Let's pretend you were talking to 10 people about doing business with you at Alice's Pantry. Growing by 10% would mean we go from 10 to 11. Does that scare anybody? Anybody run away and hide yet? 10% here would give you 11. I could do the same thing. I don't know what your average size is, but if they're spending $50 a week or a month, 10% more, maybe I sell more product, would be 5. 10% more win rate, 10% faster. You can look at those 4 things and start self-correcting. Not micromanaging, self-correcting and say, how do I get 10% better? Now I want someone to pull out their phone with their calculator app. And if I did 10% more, times 10% more, times 10% more, and 10% faster, do 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1 divided by 0.9. And I have to be done at 9:53, which is when I'm supposed to be done. So I need someone to do that math for me right now, or else I'm going to stay on this slide for the rest of the time. Okay? So this is the participation part. Who's got it? You got it? 1.47. It rounds to 4.8. You'll grow by half if you do those 4 things 10% better. Half. If you only do this one and this one, do the math and see what happens. Self-correct. Make a plan for yourself on which parts of the process. So what you need to ask yourself are, what are the activities that give me more people to talk to? What are the conversations that will help me have more products that I can place? How do I follow up differently and make it turn into wins? I'm going to give you in laws 2 and 3 how you can do that, and do that in a way that I think will make you legendary. But these are the 4 things. You don't need to look at anything else, guys. These 4 things, 10% better, you'll do 50% more business just from that. Is that helpful? Okay. That's law 1. I hope that wasn't too bad, okay? Now we're going to take those things and I'm going to talk to you about how you put them into action. I want you to be a dominator. I call this the law of situations. And I'm sorry to go sports. I'm a sports freak. I love it. We're going into the baseball playoffs. Are there any baseball fans in the room with me right now? Okay, a couple. Does anybody know who this person is? Greatest hitter of all time. No?
Not Babe Ruth.
Not Babe Ruth. Not Lou Gehrig.
Not Robert.
No? I'm going to save it. I'll tell you at the end. Okay? I like to stretch it out. Someone's going to Google it.
Yeah.
Okay? Someone's going to Google it. Plays for the Boston Red Sox. He's the last person to hit 400. What does 400 mean? You have a 40% win rate. 60% of the time he got out. No one's done it since 1940 when he did it. Okay? Here's why. This is not about a baseball story. He knew his strike zone was 11 baseballs high by 7 baseballs wide. You with me? And what was cool about this is the cover of the book that he wrote. He knew his batting average for all 77 baseballs. Now think about what that means. It's hard to see from there. I'll tell you what this is. He only had 3 balls he hit for 400, and he hit 406 on that season, okay? And he called this right here his happy zone. Now if you look down here, it's got a blue box. He called this his cold zone. He's hitting 400 right here. He's hitting 230 down here. Now for my baseball fans, how many starting lineups in the major leagues do you get if you're hitting 230? 0. He goes from greatest hitter of all time to not even on the lineup in about 1.5 feet from here to here. What does that have to do with sales? You got to know where you win. You with me? Don't just go willy-nilly talking to whoever. You got to know where your personal happy zone is. So we're going to talk about this. I got 21 laws of sales. We're going to talk about Jepson's third law of sales right now. Products have no value. They only derive value. Okay? So that means these awesome products that you guys represent at Allison's Pantry may be awesome, and they may be high quality and high end, and they may be specialty, but no one cares on the other end unless it matters to them. Value isn't something inherent in your product. It only is what it does for someone else. It's only about a problem it solves for someone or a result that it achieves. Does that make sense? So we have to get really good at understanding what people value and talking about that rather than talking about what we care about. Because when we talk about what we care about, we're the Tommy Boy guy talking about brake pads, aren't we? You with me? You don't want to be that dude. Okay, so I want to talk about how do we make this light bulb turn on, because people are situational. Do we know why they want to talk to us? Do they know what they care about? Do we make it easy to do these things? So I want to give you some ideas on how you can learn about situations. I'm going to give you something that you can think about today while you're here with your peers, and tomorrow when you're talking to people, I think it will be a difference maker. And I'm going to go for the greatest source of truth on all things that are related to this. I'm going to go to Saturday Night Live, okay? And we're going to watch a skit with Ben Affleck. I want you to watch what this product is. I'm going to ask you again, does this product dominate a situation? Do we understand the use of situation? You guys ready?
Do you need a code for walking around the city? If you've answered yes to either of these questions, you would be a fool not to stop by Bierhoff Brothers, House of German Codes. Hello, I'm Klaus Bierhoff, and I am the sponsor Oliver Bierhoff. For 20 years, we have been providing codes to German families who are visiting the next city area. Only a Bierhoff code says, I'm a German, I'm on vacation, I'm sensible, and I'm wearing a coat that is functional. Yeah. I'm with my family, and you can tell because we are all wearing the same coat. This is the promise that we make to you with our coats. Many coats are designed for fashion and so. At Bierhoff Brothers, we believe that those coats belong in the garbage. Get rid of those coats. Our coats are no nonsense, and that's the only thing that makes sense to us. Yes, that is a slogan. It's not a catchy slogan, no, but it's a functional slogan. We believe that catchy slogans belong in the garbage. Oliver and I are each wearing the new Times Square coat. It's a perfect coat for the Times Square area of New York City. Yeah. Let's look at the features. Yeah. Okay, so look, there's an outer reflective band, and it says to the taxi, do not hit me, Mr. Taxi. And then an inner reflective band, it says, hello, taxi, I'm trying to hail you and so. And then there's a hood for when it is raining, and then the second hood for when it is raining harder. And then there is a red flag to extend if you lose your family in a crowd. Family, where are you? Also, there's a yelling code to use if your family does not see the red flag. Hello, family! Where are you? We are here! We are here! Oh, we are here! Oh, we are here! I have found you! The new Times Square code also takes into account that you're in a cosmopolitan city. Yes, you have to fit into a fancy restaurant and so. Look, the sleeves are removable. Look, I am now properly dressed for a fancy restaurant. What is this? Still unsatisfied? Well, my goodness, to that I say, you're being unreasonable. You should be satisfied, Mr. Scott. Yes, but in an effort to get your business, we've added more features and so. Yes, we have added a pouch for hard salami. Yes, a pouch for regular salami. Yeah, many other pouches. For sausage, a pouch. For purchase souvenirs. Look, Klaus. I did not know you had purchased this souvenir. That's because I was keeping it in my pouch for purchase souvenirs. The Bierhoff code is the only code in the market that can be turned into a tent. Look. This tent is in case you're robbed and forced to sleep outside until the embassy opens. Okay, we've explained enough for now. Goodbye. Goodbye, get over here. The Oliver Bierhoff Times Square code is a proper code.
Okay. What is this product? Times Square code. What is it for? Lots of stuff. It's for what?
Times Square.
It's for German families that are on vacation to New York City, specifically visiting Times Square. Okay. Do you see, like, this is supposed to make you laugh, but it also teaches a good point. German families on vacation to New York City, specifically Times Square. How does it work for that situation? Really well, right? I can hail a cab or hide from a cab. Hailing, hiding, right? I can, every time I see that stupid red flag come up, I laugh, you know? We are here, okay? I could even go to a fancy restaurant. If you think about how it's situationally oriented, a German family actually may find that interesting. My question is, do you understand the situations that Alice in the Pantry fits into? What situations do you guys dominate? That's the question that we want to talk about now. And so I'm going to go to some work that I did for Marriott with one of my partners. A few years ago, they asked us to come and look at service-sensitive customers versus price-sensitive customers. And no surprise, we found people at two different tracks. We needed a full-service track and we needed a budget track. And to do this, we did something that I think you can do, and I've got started for you. I'm going to give this to you here, because customers have different hats based on the situations that you're in. You'll probably have some people that are more service-oriented. I just don't have time to go get this, or I even can't get it unless I buy it from you. And other people like, I just need you to send me a little bit of money on the things that I would have got maybe somewhere else. I see some heads nodding, okay? Now you're getting into the conversation on how you help versus sell. Does that make sense? So you need to understand these things. This is how we did it for Marriott. We knew that they had business people, couples, and families that were budget travel, business travel, extended stays, or time to celebrate. So let me give you an example of what this means. I travel tons for work. I stay at Marriott's a lot. Most of the time when I travel, I am a business person doing business travel. So I come in late. I like places to be right off the freeway. I like to make sure that the bed is going to be pretty consistent so I can get a good night's sleep. I probably need to have it give me something so I can get a bite either late or early, depending on what my schedule is. Free Wi-Fi. If I have to pay for Wi-Fi in a hotel, I'll never go there again, right? Those things matter. And so when you start looking at those things, I come here and I'm on the Marriott Courtyard because of all those things. Pretty easy, right? I get my points. Well, I'm thinking of my 20th wedding anniversary when my wife and I did a cool trip. For the ladies in the room, how important is right off the freeway for that trip? In fact, if that's what happens, you may be in trouble, yes or no? Okay? So that's why they have couples on time to celebrate, and they have a different type of experience. Does that make sense? In fact, the more remote, the better. How much did I talk about the spa over here? Guess what the most important thing to her was for that trip? The spa. Right? Do you see why situations matter? And now, my daughter, who, when she graduated from high school and got ready to go to college, we had a trip for her, and she said she wanted to go to Aruba. And where did we go when it was family and time to celebrate? We rented one of the Marriott Vacation Club villas because it had lots of rooms and it had a kitchen and stuff, so we could go to the grocery store and fill it up so people could have breakfast and lunch, and then we only spent restaurant money for dinner. You with me? Situations matter. You need to know this for what you do with Allison's Pantry. You need to know how that fits for Allison's Pantry in general, but mostly how you approach your market. So I don't know your business well enough. I wanted to give you a start on how I might help you do that if I was. Customer type and use the situation here. I guess, maybe you have single people, maybe you have single parents with families, single parents. There should be couples with families. I screwed it up, sorry. But I picked 4 of them, just couples. It should have been singles, couples, single parent family, and couples with family. I apologize, I should say couples. And I don't know, but maybe there's no time to cook. Maybe there's no time to shop. Maybe there's really important foods that either I can't get in my city or I can't get anywhere. Maybe I have health challenges or weight loss that I want to do. Maybe I'm on a budget. Maybe I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to start this. Does that make sense? And then understand these situations and what conversations do you have with each of those people. Because if you do that, these people will never feel like you're selling to them. They'll feel like you're connecting to who they are. And so not only is it important to know this, and I apologize that I duped this, this should have been just couples, 2 people that don't have other people living with them. If you can understand what drives those things, you can be an amazing resource for everyone you talk to. Does that make sense? My experience has been the better you know not just the grid, but what drives the grid, the more success you'll have helping people choose to buy. Notice what I didn't say. I didn't say selling to them. I said helping people, what did I say? Choose to buy. We feel pretty good about that, don't we? People choose to buy. You want to help them do that? Do this. Now, you want to know who does this better than anybody else I've ever seen? This is why you should really take what I'm talking about seriously. Because if we were doing a whole day together, we could figure out what these things are. I always tell you, pick your top 3 or 4 boxes and really get good at what drives those, right? This guy did it better than anyone. This was a failing company. He came back and saved it by doing what I just showed you. Think about it. Is the iPhone, how much of your primary use of your phone is to talk to people? It's usually music and maybe texting, but the voice, my kids don't even like to call me on the phone. They only want to text me. You see what I'm saying? And I watch people that work for me only want to send emails instead of call customers. I'm like, you guys are crazy, talk to them. No, they just want to do electronic. And so they understand usage situations really well. Understand usage situations, you'll transform companies. Here's an example. I gave a speech like this, someone invited me to their company. They went back and they made a list of all the problems they were good at solving, 17 problems, and then look what they did. Customers, situations, and look what they did. They put all the problems into these grids and they made their happy zone. Now I'll tell you who it was. It's Ted Williams, okay? That's the Ted Williams happy zone for them. And what they said is, we spend all of our time looking for these conversations to talk to. So when I go back to the sales equation, more opportunities, talk to people in the happy zone boxes, and you'll find that your win rates and cycle time improve almost immediately. Understand situations. Is that helpful? Okay. If you make your Ted Williams happy zone, I promise you'll be happier with what you do. Okay? That takes us to number 3. I hope we're going on a good pace. Okay? I hope this hasn't been slow. This is the funnest one. I have a few more videos coming, and I'm going to have to be done in about 10 minutes, so I'm going to move. The most important thing to do, you have a process, know your tic-tac-toe board, and pull the 4 levers. We're going to go, that's something you can start doing immediately, right? Number 2, you're going to make your grid, and you're going to know your happy zone. You can do that quickly. But inside those happy zone squares, create experiences. Don't create sales pitches, create experiences. You got an awesome experience waiting for you right down here when I'm done speaking, right? I want you to, as you go through this, think, how do I create experiences for the people I talk to in my markets? So I call this salesperson syndrome. When I say sales or salesperson, what words do you think people say back to me when I say the name association? I say salesperson, you say?
Pushy.
Pushy. What else? Slimy. What else?
Dishonest.
Dishonest. Why does everybody hate me so much? You don't even know me. Joking, okay? Everyone says that. They're money hungry. They only care about themselves. Used car almost always comes up. Pinocchio. They'll lie and say whatever they have to get a deal. This is my favorite. It might be hard to see. It's called a selfish portrait. She thinks she's having a portrait painted of herself and he's painting of him. But to what you said, I did this in North Carolina, and the nicest lady you'll ever meet said, "You say salesperson, I say pond scum." And that's that right there, okay? Now, that's the reality, yes or no? Yeah. If we don't have a relationship with someone, and they think we're trying to sell someone, barriers come up. Is that fair to say? Yeah. Okay, so I want to help this never be you. I'm glad that there's this perspective, because if you don't do this, people will know you and appreciate you for how you do things. And what I believe is how you sell is more important than what you sell. You have a killer product that you should be proud of, but how you engage your customers is what will make you legendary. Does that make sense? So, I want to talk about this word trust. Why do you think I love the way this image is put together?
Did you build it?
Trust is built. When is it built? First interaction, second interaction, most recent interaction? Everyone. Everybody wants to talk about trust. I think it's the currency of relationships. It's what you trade on. And so you ask yourself, what does it even mean? Because of time, I'm not going to do this, but let me tell you what I love to do. I love to give you 60 seconds to write down every word that trust means. And then I have you huddle up with people around you and say, how many of you have the exact same words on your list? And if anybody doesn't have the same word on your list, you have to scratch it. There's never more than 2 words that show up. Most groups get 0 words that match. The only words that ever match are helpful, honest, and reliable. So if there's three things you want to be helpful, be honest, and then do what you say you'll do. Those are good ways to live a life. Is that fair to say? But it's for sure a good blueprint for how you talk to customers. So if that's what we're going to do, what I want to talk about is how do you leverage those three things to turn on a light that makes you memorable? Because what you say is almost immediately forgotten. But what you make them feel is what makes you a legend and not want to talk to anybody else ever again. So I want to show you how we do that. I believe that an experience is taking someone away from being a spectator and making them a participant. Not just listening to the headphones, but singing along. You with me? How do you get people to do that? If you can get people to do that, you win. And so what I want to talk about is how do you get people to do things? And I believe there's only two ways you can be valuable. This is super important in the few minutes that we have left. There's two ways you create value. Only two. You can solve a problem someone cares about, or you can achieve a result someone cares about. Now, what do you think the most important words on that screen are? They. What else? Anything? Agree, disagree? Is there anything else?
Care.
Good. Most of the time I try to trick you because I have bold problem or result. You guys didn't fall into it, especially you won. The most important thing is they care about it. It's not the problem you know you can solve that we're so excited to help you solve, right? And it's not the result we can help them achieve because we got the coolest, we got new stuff that you've got to see because it's amazing. It's not that. It's that they care about it. So the question is, how do you get people to tell you what they care about? You with me? How do you get people? Because if you can hear what they care about, is it fair to say the job gets a lot more fun? Yeah, that's why I love sales. Is if you can get people to tell you with their own mouth what they care about, you win. So one of the things I knew I wouldn't do, I just wanted to tell you, I usually bring a can of pork and beans and I call two people up from this audience. I say, sell the pork and beans to me. And I've heard it all, like, oh, these are beans that don't give you gas, or this has the greatest sauce we've ever had. I thought for here it might be fun because of how I could do it. Here's the thing, I'm looking for someone that wants, I'll look at the can, and I'll look at you, my friend here, who's the winner, and I'll say, you got any pig guts in there? Now, what do you think everyone says when I ask that question?
No.
Yeah, because pig guts are what? Gross. Of course, and I make this label that says only the finest ingredients. And that's when I stop and I say, you just lost the deal. Because I was looking for a very specialty food made from the intestine of a pig found only in the Andes Mountains. And there's only one answer to, you got any pig guts in there? What is it?
Yes.
Not yes.
Do you want it?
Though it's true. Why do you ask?
Why?
Why do you ask? Another winner right here, okay? Why do you ask? Because then I know how to answer the question. Why do you ask? Oh, well, I'm looking for this thing found only in the Andes Mountains. Oh, well, then it's good that you picked us because that means we do this custom blend right here and we got you. But when we say no because they're disgusting, we say, oh, well, then you must not be able to work with me. Don't assume. Because it's not the problem or result that we achieve, it's that they what? Care about it. So I would tell you, find the pig guts every time. Find the pig guts. So I want to show you a video of someone finding pig guts, and then we're going to skip to last section, and then we're going to be done. Does anybody watch the TV show The Prophet with Marcus Lemonis? Anybody ever watch that? I love it. It's one of my favorite shows. He invests in companies that are dying. This is a clip I'm going to show you of a cleaning company that are trying to sell eco-friendly cleaning materials to a hotel. I want you to watch for pig gut moments. What are the pig guts that they care about, okay? If you can be on high alert for what's their version of pig guts, you will win so much more. Most of the time we look for opportunities to talk about our product. We need to look for opportunities to find the pig guts. Watch for this. We're going to stop it halfway through. I want you to tell me how they're doing. Hey, how'd she do? Sorry, it's going to be loud. Oh, didn't do. Okay, good. How'd she do? Okay, why? I heard bad. Why? She asked 0 questions. Good. Yeah, look at it. This guy's like, hey, don't call us, we'll call you. She's going home, oh, I'm going to get this business. Did you say any pig gut moments? Anything that might have been pig gut clues? The aroma, good. You got that's the one that they gave a couple others. We're known for our cleanliness. What's this effective with the aroma? She assumed what? She assumed aroma was bad. Okay, here's my question. Is it possible that someone that says I care about cleanliness wants some kind of an aroma? So I can tell it's been clean. Yes. What about this? Is it also possible that because it's a vinegar-based solution, they're worried that it might be too strong? Also yes. Which is it? She didn't ask. She assumed pig guts were disgusting. You with me? Is this a helpful training exercise? And this has everything to do with you. Did you hear what she said about all natural ingredients? That sound familiar sometimes? Okay? You guys will have this kind of moment all the time. So, she made an assumption. Let's find out how it went. Was scent good or bad? Yeah. And she never gave him a chance to tell him. He ends up getting the deal. So, we got like no more time. I got to wrap this up. I hope that you can see the difference. Do you see how they went from don't call me, I'll call you, to walking into the bathroom, smile on their face, walking into the shower, and he's like, it's very refreshing, it's impressive. Your customers will do the same thing if you let them. Create experiences, because he went from we'll let you know to here's the order. And the only thing that changed was they created an experience instead of a sales pitch. So today, as you go down there, think, how do I create experiences? I want to finish with this, okay? I want to finish with the last thing and the most important thing you can do is not forget the impact that one person has on one person. I want you to watch this. This will be a great way to finish. We'll send you on your way. It's been great being with you. I want you to watch, because I think this has everything to do with what you guys sell, the story of a store that sold foods, and when someone took what seemed like a menial job and turned it into an experience, okay? I want you to see what happened. Please. And look what happened to that store as a result of this. that a good way to finish this? Okay. Let me wrap it up. Thank you for that. I'm done. I had stuff that would have been fun and funny to finish with, but I'm not going to finish that way. I'm going to finish with this. Success this year is about committing. Committing to your opportunity, committing to your customers, committing to your friends you serve, right? Number one, commit to the process. Know your tic-tac-toe board. You guys got me? 4 levers: people you talk to, revenue per customer, win rate, speed. Number 2, situations. Make your grid. If you know the places you can help people, you will win. But most important, have them start singing along with you instead of just listening to your music. And if you do that, if Johnny can make people wait in the line 3 times longer because he put his thumbprint on it, you can put your thumbprint on it. Because you know what they care about, true or false. You know what they want to achieve, true or false. And if you focus on them, you will be legendary with everyone you serve. And they will thank you for what you've brought to them, rather than just do a transaction with you. And with that, I want to give you your time back. Thank you for having me, and I hope you become legendary this coming year and beyond.